Welcome, Ji. Today I'm going to discuss the Java threading model. Java default nature of Java is that they are run all your codes, all your programs in the single threads known as a main thread. All the codes like if you're writing any let's key uh, start, do something here, yeah, do something, do something, and end. Done. End. All are run inside. If you know the thread name, this is the one utility through which you can know if you run this. You notice that all are the code written inside the main methods are run in the same main thread, same by main thread. You can say. All are the code written inside my main threads. Even you are writing a particular methods, uh, let's key I move this in the method. If you're writing this code in a method as well as okay, started method started, do something. If you run this code as well as that, whenever all the instruction written inside a main method, uh, okay, you have started instruction one, then invoke one method. In this method we have statement 1, statement 2, then again return back here, and all are executed in by your main threads. So by default nature is of Java application, they are running in a single thread known as a main threads. So all the codes you are written inside your main methods are run inside your main threads, all the instructions. So you notice here, first line executed, then your main methods. Let's see, method as a separate stack trace. Method here one, two line, three line executed. The first your SOP executed. Then you are invoking your main method. This particular method, do method, go to the method, and inside method one, two, three, whatever written inside your method, they are doing, and again after back returning the same line. Means these are execution started and wait when your method invoke. After doing the method complete, then come again next statement your end is executed. That means key the code is running like this way, synchronous programming. One threads is execution in the single thread means single execution path. Thread is follow single execution path. Okay, so this is a by default nature. All the methods run inside your main method are the single threaded synchronous program. But Java support you can write a separate thread. You can write separate threads. Okay, I am starting the new threads here. They are doing independent, they are also in independent separately doing. Both are doing simultaneously. So this nature known as multi-threading. So how Java Java provide the different way you can write the thread application. Okay. First thing ki what are the different way? So Java by default provide one main class known as a thread class. Using thread class as a developer, we can create threads and inform to the JVM we have created threads. This methods, this set of instruction you execute in a separate thread, not in the main threads. So for that, this thread class have a different way you can use this thread class to start a new thread. First, extending a thread class. Second, you're implementing runnable interface. Third, you're implementing callable interface, and that used by your future tasks. So this is the basic way generally we are doing Java thread programming in the different using a thread class model. Second approach would be the executors. Instead of creating a single threads, we have created thread pools, pool of threads. And pool of threads, we have to submit our task. I want to two tasks, three tasks, four tasks execute by these threads. So that is the executor frameworks. And executor frameworks have a one benefit. Let's see, we have a 10 task I want. Then generally before we have to create a 10 threads. 10 threads manually start and complete its own life cycle. But through thread pool model, I create a pool of threads. I have created a pool of threads. Let's say I have created thread 3, T1, T2, and T3. And now I have five jobs, five tasks I want to execute. So we have a submit all my five tasks. Let's get task goal A, task B, task C, task D, task E. We have three tasks. These tasks. So we have submitted all my job or task in the queue. Whenever threads is started, let's get T1 started. Okay, T1 started, or they are pulling one task from here and doing execution. Let's get T2 started. T2 started pulling one task here and doing in parallelly in simultaneously different threads. And T3 started. T3 pulling one job and doing something. Let's get T1 completed job. Then T1 again pull the different task as well as. And if T completed T1, then these three in simultaneously fashion they take a task from the queue, from the internally maintain a queue, from queue they retrieve. In this fashions, with the limited number of thread, we can uh, submit as per the number of task a job which we want to execute in a separate threads. The second threading model is the your thread pool. Okay, first is your thread class, second thread pool, third is the your completable feature. In this way, we can create threads. But let's keep thread one, do some task, and after the they produce some output, and the output of this we have a want to start new threads. They do something. The output of this task I want to perform some new task, new threads. So in this fashion, pipelines of threads we can achieve from a completable future. One thread completed, then do something. One thread completed, do something. This is the one use case. Completable future can use multiple use case. Maybe one threads start doing something, and they started let's key four threads, four threads, and they want all the four threads completed. Then I'm do this. Five threads do something. you also do it. Some use case might be case, let's keep one thread started do something, let's keep download some file a movie, they started let's keep independent three threads in parallelly they are going to the download the particular files. Let's keep anyone is completed download, then I inform to that this is completed, don't wait for the all. The some use case when the multiple threads are communicate to each other on the basis of input some output, we are using the completable future. Okay, so let's see here I am going to write some examples of one a simple example so that you can understood key what are the syntax and cementing and sugar through which these look like very simple way to writing a threads programs in a Java. Okay, so let's key I am going to write just I'm removing it. I'm going to write first approach. First, very basic approach. Write just class my threads, my threads extend thread class. Okay. And now we have to write our logics with the set of instruction I want to print. Okay. So you have to override run method of this class. And here you have to write your logic like inside the run method of uh, my thread. Let's see thread one. Okay, this is the printed by which thread? I'm just getting a thread class current thread got name. So now you notice I have created one class thread class. Okay, and just not doing nothing. So now our code is doing nothing. How to use this thread class? I have to just write my thread class object equal to new my thread. Okay, now I've created the object and now I want this all the business logic written inside this method that should be run in a separate threads. So how I am going to use this code? Here we have a one thing, notice that in this class we have a run method. We have an option we can use run method directly from the object one dot run function. If I using this way, let's run and observe the result. You notice that we have is in main your main thread is started. First, you have created your one object. Object one is created. Then invoke your run function. Then your control go to the your run function and complete the run logic. What are the written here? Then again back here and then print your end message. Your end message here. The first your inside a run method of thread 1, but this is done by your main thread. This is also done by main threads. Here we are not separate threads are created, but the same threads main threads are executed. So as a developer, how I'm ensure that all the codes written inside this method should be run in a separate threads. For that, Java provide different method. As a developer, we have don't know the kernel level knowledge how to spawn new thread from OS perspective. So Java provide the wrapper. Java say in thread class we have start method. You don't use invoke manually run function. As a JVM, as a Java thread code, know कि I when I want to invoke your run method, not you invoke. So don't invoke your start method. Use the start method. Don't use run method. Whenever you are invoking start method, now JVM start new threads, and from these new threads they are invoke your run method. And all the code written inside this method is run by the separate threads. Let's now observe the result. You notice your um, from your main method. This is the main. In main you have created class, nothing happened. You created one object, object one created. After you are invoking start method, you are invoking start method, means ki here is a new thread is created, new thread is created. And new threads, what they do inside the, this is your thread class. Thread class have a run method, what inside written here run, they are executed. But whenever this new thread is started, this main thread execution not stop, they are continue to running. Whatever written here, here written am a end function, the first they are end. Your main function is, your main thread is continue doing work, they are not waiting to the thread should be executed. So that means they are started a new thread, this thread get a chance to run and then start executing. You notice that this run inside method is invoked by the thread 0. This is the thread, this is the thread 0 is doing come, this is your main thread is doing work. So in this way we are able to create my own thread class, extending your thread class and writing my, and in this thread class what the business logic you want to run in a separate thread, that should be written in a run method, inside a run method. So you have to override run method. Okay, and now we have created the object of your thread class and use the start method. Don't use your run method. When we use run method, you cannot start new thread, instead the main threads are continue to work your run method. So we have to note, remember that we always use, whenever you want to make different threads execution, then you have to use a start method of thread class. Okay, this is the first way. Now the second way is the implement runnable. So I am going to write uh, class my thread 2 implements runnable run. Here you have to, again I am just writing the same code here inside a run method of runnable my thread 2. Okay, okay, let's similar way. Here I am going to the create of my thread class object, new, and here obj 2 dot, here you notice we have not any start method, we have only run method, we have override run. So here how we can start the thread, because this runnable is the interface, they have only one abstract method run. So we have override run method here, but how we can start my threads? So this is the one point, notice the thread start method is provided inside your thread class. In anyhow we have to take the help of this thread class to start the threads. So we have to use the thread class to starting a thread. So here I have to use the thread class, new thread class, and this thread class have a method start. Here question is that when I run thread, this thread, is it execute my code or not? Because this thread class doesn't know about my thread 2 class. If you run it, you notice that they are not executed, they are not executed thread 2, they are thread 1 and main thread end, main program end. So how as a developer I inform this thread class, you can consider my thread runnable run as a your task. So the object of my thread 2 we have to pass as a constructor of your thread class. Thread class provide the constructor of a runnable and you can pass the runnable object target. And now whenever this thread start, they are going to the find you have you have provided target as a thread class 2. Thread class 2 run method is invoked. If you notice that now my runnable thread to executed. They are notice they are executed by the different thread. This executed by the different threads, or this executed by your main threads. So be remember whenever you are going to create your own thread using the runnable interface, you have to take help of your thread class, and in thread class constructor you have to pass your runnable object. Thread class constructor which take as a runnable argument. And now after that you can invoke thread.start. Okay, great. And let's key the understood the callable interface. My thread, let's create a class threads 3 implements callable. Here you one thing we have to notice, here we have to override run method, here you have to override callable interface is a one method call, but here you notice uh, they have returned some value and throw some exception. If you notice the runnable interface, runnable interface have one run method but does not return any value, does not take any input. So uh, before Java 5, from Java 5 callable interface come, before Java 5 we have a not any option कि any threads return some value. Here thread does not return any value. Thread does not return any value. Just want to print something, yeah, write some file. So this is the major enhancement come from Java 5 that whenever we are starting any threads, I want after that key they return some value. So initial thread model or enable interface by a run method, run method does not return any value. Your thread cannot return any value. But from Java onward, 5 onward, we have option we can return some value as well as. The callable interface provide a facility you can return some value. If let's say your main threads started some thread T5, they return some value as well as. Okay, so this is the one major enhancement come from the Java 5 onward. We have option callable interface. From callable interface, you can return some value. Let's say I am return here some any value. Uh, some value. Okay, some values which you want to return. Let's key I want to just display the particular key which threads they are and okay. This is the call method. Next question again how I am going to use this. Let's get thread dot first create the object 3 equal to new thread. Okay, We have here again, we have not any method like start. How to start callable interface? In initially, we have a uh, runnable. We are passing the object of runnable to the thread class. Now you have a similar way. We have a option, any option. Let's give thread t1 equal to new thread. Here I can pass object 3 or not. Now notice that they cannot resolve symbol. Thread class does not have any constructor which take callable as an input. Then how will do it? For that there is a new class known as a your future task. Why future task? Because your callable can return value. Whenever the particular thread is executed, they return some value. So how will getting future value? For those we have to use future task. Future new future task. Now this future task can take a input as a constructor. This future have a constructor of callable and runnable. You can pass callable object or you can pass runnable object. Here I can pass my callable object. And now this future task we can pass as a in constructor. How? Because this future class implement two interface. They in future task implement runnable future and runnable future implement runnable as well as a future object. So in short, thread class have a constructor of runnable जो future task is kind of runnable. Now this thread have a option start. Now if you run it, notice your this callable is run by the different threads. This different, and this is the main. So these are the different three different way this thread class are used to start a new threads. Okay. First, extend your thread class and just start the object of your start method. Second, implement runnable interface and make the object of runnable and pass in the your thread class and start your thread. Second, implement callable interface which can return some value and you return some value and just create the callable object and then pass to the future task and this future task pass as a thread class and now invoke the thread.start. These three way where you can use thread class to start your own threads and that execution start in a parallel. Notice if you want to return this, I want to return this value. How will get this value? I have these options. If you want to print those value, just shout future dot. We have is get function. Get function is responsible to returning those value. Future task return value. Future task return value. future task return value, some value which we have written here. So whenever in after thread execution you want to return some value, you have to use the on future we have a get function. Get function is the your blocked call. Until you are not getting the value, next instruction cannot be executed. So we remember कि whenever you apply future task dot get, this is the blocked call, and you notice that whenever you are running those codes, okay, this after this output, the new output come here. If you are not running this way, if you are commenting this, all are the uh, non-blocking call or independent they are running. All are the non-blocking call, independent they are running and not waiting to the anyone. Might be main executed first. This is fast. This is SAM. Any order which thread get a chance, they are run. But whenever you are invoking future dot get call, this is your non, and you notice that this is the you can also print thread name. Whenever you are use this get function, your main thread, you notice your main thread is blocked until they get the return value. Reason is that we have a we have started thread 1, we have started thread 2, we have started thread 3, and I want to end the task, but here I want to return the value of this thread waiting, what the value they return. So here the thread is blocked until this is callable thread returns some value. Whenever they return some value, then execution. If you are not waiting the blocked call, means they are independent. Now your program is completed. Main thread is completed. They are running independent when they are getting a chance. Okay. So these are the different implementation of Java thread class through which you can create your own class. Okay. Uh, Now instead of creating one threads and managing thread dot start, thread dot wait, thread dot sleep, different methods they have. Instead, they use the concept of thread pool. In thread pool, you have to just create a pool of threads. By default, thread pools, there are executors framework, executor service. They have a executors factory class which produce some kind of a pool, fix a new fixed thread pool, cache thread pool, work stealing thread pool, Java scheduling thread pool, single thread pool, kind of things. So different, they have a factory method. They produce the thread pool of different mechanisms. I'm just going to show as I demonstrate the syntax how I'll use. Okay, let's key executors dot new. Let's key I'm using the fixed thread pool. Let's I want to make a three threads. Okay, so here is a here this statement new fixed thread pool factory create the three pool of a thread pool thread pool thread pool. Three threads are started, but what these three threads do, what they are doing, then we have to submit our task in a queue. What the in this task queue we have put not only three tasks, I can put 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 tasks, 20 tasks as well as what number of tasks. So here I am going to put executor service dot submit. Submit is a function which are used to post your runnable task, callable task. Okay, any runnable or callable you can post here. Okay, let's say I'm posting uh, callable. Here I'm just using this my future task. I'm okay. You can submit multiple as well as let's get to your callable or runnable you can post. So this way, whenever you submit task, this is executor framework. Whenever you submit task, just submit task one, task through which you want, and just run it. This is notice these two are used by your pool. Pool one, there is pool one, thread two, and thread one. They are doing runnable task and callable task as well as. If you are passing callable, you have an option. You can get value. Okay. So here I am passing a callable, callable object 3. Here we have option we can uh, get a feature. Okay, and from future you can return value. Not get blocking call again. Whenever this is the blocking call, future returns a value. So these are the way you can use executor service, executor framework, which are the very easiest way. Here you notice that I am not using thread data start. Thread data start is the native implementation provider JB. Here we have only task to create the pool of threads. You have to specify the number of thread you want and submit your task, number of tasks you want. Here one thing you notice that our program is not terminated. Why? Because this executor service assume after this you are submitting more job, task 1, task 2, task 3. So whenever you think I have submitted only 2 tasks or 3 tasks or 4 tasks, after that we have to use uh, indicator to executor service. Now I want to shut down. They have a function shutdown. Just invoke shutdown so that all the pools, because you notice that these three threads are created in a pool of three threads, T1, T2, and T3. These jobs a task is submitted in a queue, in a queue queue. So T1 get a one task done, T2 get another task done, T3 get another task done. If free, again if after free, this take this task, this take this task. After if all the queue job is completed, still these three threads are known as a worker threads are still waiting. Someone can put task in the queue. So we have to inform our thread pool that now we have completed all the submission job. Now after completion of this activity, you can shut down all the threads pool. So we have to use this shutdown now. The B ensure that you, whenever you are using a Qt framework to creating a thread pool, you have to shut down your thread pool as well as. And after running that, you notice that our threads after completion of these thread, our program is terminated. So these are your Here I am going to just think last approach your your completable future. The one another approach where you can use the completable future, that supply async is a function we are using to supply your here these are the constructor. If you notice that they need a supplier is the one interface which take which takes which take is a interface which take nothing input but return some value. So here just pass I am use the supplier. Let's key type of is a string supplier equal to, they does not return any value but return some value. Let's key this is a sub dummy value, dummy values. Let's key for which thread this plus thread dot control dot get name. So these are the supplier. You can pass this supplier here. So this is the different way. Here you notice that I am using the lambda expression. If you don't want to use lambda expression, you can use all the places you can use lambda expression. If you know detail about the lambda expression, please watch my video. I have written how we can write a lambda expression. If you don't know the so I simply write the your new supplier as well as, if you let's key I am just uh, I am writing new supplier and returning some value. If you writing this way, it's also work. Okay. This is an anonymous class. Okay, you can pass an anonymous class here and you can run. But you notice that our value is not printed because we have to, whenever start something, maybe program is terminated, we have to wait some time. Let's key 1000 millisecond. I have to wait. Okay, supplier have return value completable future. That complete complete get s out s out get. Notice that these are the so here you notice that they are using the concept of fork zone, common pool than worker threads. Okay, here again we are just passing the task, which task you can pass runnable you can pass. Let's key after that I pass another, then you can accept, then run async, then run. You have after that this thread I want to task run enable another, that you pass your enable object. Let's give it to the enable object, but enable does not return any value. Okay, then you have to does not need this, then you have to run this way. Sorry. Okay. Maybe this pool. So there are multiple chaining on which we can pass value. Okay. So these are the uh, different mechanisms. Here, the way you can write a code in your uh, first approach, your third class. Second approach, implement runnable. Third approach, implement callable. Fourth approach, your executor service. And fifth approach, your completable future. All the tasks you pass here run in a different threads. From Java 8 onward, we have a concept of lambda expression. So all the places you can write the lambda expression as well as. So I am just going to write a simple lambda forms of these so that you will know. Let's key I want to use lambda expression. So first approach, new new thread dot your start function. If you want to do something here, pass your runnable object. Okay, here you pass which switch you want to do something inside lambda, send lambda plus you can give a thread name, get name, then start. So this is the different way using a lambda. The first approach using the thread class and just passing any lambda expression. You can also find this lambda thread 3, or you can use the your thread class. You can pass here your runnable, callable, anything in pass your lambda expression, and your you can here also use the thread pool, like we have used the executor start new cache thread pool dot variable cache thread pool, and here cache thread pool dot submit, and here you can pass any value directly lambda expression. This is a lambda value from thra thread plus current thread dot get name. Okay, and you have to shut down your thread pool. So from using a lambda expression, you can simple way you can create a thread in now in Java. Okay, one liner. You want to pass your business logic, what you want to inside a lambda expression. Okay, and here your pool you have to submit action. Here you can pass runnable or callable as a lambda expression. Similarly, completable future, run async and pass your lambda expression. Run sync. Okay, run async. It's a lambda 3. So these are the through lambda expression you can get thread value. And I skip accept completable future supply async. Just pass this and this hello, and after that then accept system out printed. What is consumer interface? Oh, sorry, printed. And then you can print here. You can hello. You can also, if you notice key from which thread, just give the thread dot current thread dot get name, which threads they are printing. Okay. This is the hello this thread. Let's key if here supply async this thread one doing something, and after that I want to do some else like supply again. I want to just make some whatever the input we am getting. I want to do input plus some modification. Some let let's key here written hello. I want to append then uh, then apply transformation, then apply whichever input I am getting from first thread. I want to string getting and append world. Okay, plus thread name, which threads they are doing this. So here yours you are a first thread do something hello world, and then for different after the return they return string, and then after that I'm do something else, and after that I'm just printing those values. So these are the completable feature are the easiest different way here. So Fox right is the this is your this thread return the value, this thread return this value, and after that the second thread this work. Here you notice that they work inside your main threads. You notice that this value is run from a worker pool, and then this value is run by different thread. So this is not, this is run by different thread, this is run by different thread, might be this is run by different thread or same thread. You have options if you want to pass the different thread pool as well as each functions have a options. You can pass own customized thread pool. Here we have option, you can pass thread pool. Second parameter is the thread pool. Your executor, you can pass any executor as per your thread pool, you can execute. Let's here I am pass. Okay, let's catch thread pool, yeah, any thread pool you can pass here. So we have to explore more, but completable future is the make a sequence of threads and doing something different. This is the one thread do something, and now you are notice this is the hello world done by their this thread pool. Okay, if you notice I am just append some value here, end class done, hello done, hello. Okay, this is a complete one value returned by the thread 1, and then this thread 2 return this input value and append this hello world and which thread they are doing. This is the first value, then append this value. Now you notice that this is done by your worker thread 3. So here is the algorithm implemented by work scaling algorithm. Now notice sometime I run this is done by your for full thread pool, and this is done by your main thread. Sometime this is done by your main thread, sometime maybe done by your worker thread pool or something different. If you want to pass your own customized thread pool, but depend, if main is busy then worker thread pool get a chance, if main is free then main is doing this task. So these are the pipeline of set of functions that are performed by the completable features. And if any exception occur, you can apply the particular exception as well. What kind of handling exception here? So completable feature have a lots of API to parallelly start the 3 thread 4 threads and make a combine all the results, or anyone complete all these APIs are available in the side the completable features. They have just to wait. So whenever you are using lambda expressions are a very easiest way to write a code. Okay, here is your traditional thread class, and just use your runnable callable interface here and a start method. And executor pool, just use executor service and start pools and submit your task 1 2 and shut down the task. And completable future, you can just supply your logic which you want from thread 1 from thread 2 and what you are doing. Okay, so in short, these are the different approaches where we have an option to create asynchronous programming, threading programming. Okay, we notice that these are the basic approach by thread class using the traditional classes or lambda expressions. Similarly, executor thread pools, multiple kind of thread pool you can create, and completable features, pipelines of the threads. Thread 1 do something like that. Different approaches are here. Okay, uh, just these are the different API classes available in Java thread, so that whenever we need to create a threads according the situation, we have to use this. Hope it's useful to you. Thank you.